Welcome back to Q-Dads, guys, and yes, it's me, Ben. And today we're diving into the official trailer for Pluribus, Apple TV's new sci-fi show, of course, from the one and only Vince Gilligan. And that was the man behind Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, two of my favourite shows out there.
Say my name.
And wow, this trailer, it's weird, it's beautiful, and it's already got me diving down a lot of theory rabbit holes. So let's break it down scene by scene, because even though we only got 2 minutes worth of footage, there is a lot to unpack. So the trailer opens quietly. Carol, played by Rhea Seehorn, someone asks her if there is anything that they can do to make her happy. And her response, essentially, is just tipping that lavish plate of food straight into the bin. You know, it was extravagant, it was perfect, but yeah, she just dumps it anyway. So that single moment tells us everything, that Carol isn't buying it. Whatever world she's living in now, the idea of happiness feels fake, manufactured. Now, from there, the tone starts to shift. The world looks pristine, sterile, and eerily empty as well. Even the supermarket scene, shelves are empty, but there's no one around. And those who are there are too nice. Everyone's just overly polite, too cheerful, and smiling a bit too much. It's got that kind of Stepford vibe about it, like everyone's been programmed to act human, but also not be human at the same time. And then we cut to Carol on a plane. Now, she's essentially looking for a way to reverse all of this. And then chaos, a quick flash of a bus on fire, with Carol behind the wheel of a car speeding away. And this shot feels somewhat important to me, I think. Is this the first breakout of whatever's happening? The moment when the virus or the hive mind spreads? Or is it much later when Carol finally decides to fight back? And of course, we don't know yet, but the tone does shift massive. From eerie calm to full-blown panic. So next, we then see some new faces. One mystery man and a small group of strangers moving through empty streets and half-lit corridors. And now this is where it gets confusing. Are these people part of the hive mind? Or are they, like Carol, the last of these resistors, as we want to call them? You know, the trailer doesn't make it clear on which side people are on, but that's what makes it so good. The tension comes from not knowing who's actually human anymore. And again, I'm saying that as a presumption, but I will touch on it at the end. Now, of course, everyone acts incredibly friendly, almost too friendly. But when everyone's smiling, how do you tell who's real and who's infected? Then we get this eerie line from what is the president, from what we can tell, and he essentially says to Carol that we'll find out what makes her different. Now, it's said very calmly and reassuringly, but paired with the shots of the lab testing and the needles, it feels more like a threat than a promise. Now, are those lab testing scenes essentially from before the virus breaks out? Or are these actually people who are also immune to the virus, trying to understand how it works to then eventually save people? I don't think the president, if he is part of this hive mind, would actually then go and test this virus. I think they know what it is. But of course, you see these people in these sterile rooms, you know, machine scanning faces, and Carol essentially looks trapped. If the world has fallen under a hive mind, you know, some kind of state of forced happiness, then she might literally be the last person who can think freely, and the one whose mind cannot be controlled. And that's where this hive mind theory really does kick in. Now, there is this moment as well where a DHL driver essentially smiles and says to Carol, "We'd move heaven and earth to make you happy." Now, at first, it sounds something quite nice and polite and sticks to that kind of happy theme until you realise that it might actually mean something else. Now, if everyone's connected through this hive consciousness, then maybe they can manipulate the things around them. Maybe they're not human anymore. Maybe they're something else. An alien collective. A global consciousness that's reshaping the world to make Carol happy. You know, it adds a whole new layer. So what if she's not just immune? What if she's central to the entire network? The missing link to the hive that needs to complete itself. Now, the trailer's biggest strength is how it balances kind of serenity with chaos. There's a montage of very happy and very grumpy faces, and that's perfect. A very creepy contrast. And then this bizarre shot of a man licking a can lid. And it's weird, it's uncomfortable, but of course it fits the theme nicely. A world where emotions are broken and replaced by these compulsive joy and disconnection. And it reminds me of the teaser that we got where that woman was licking the donut as well. Something about licking things in this show is very unsettling. But of course, we're then moving on to the visuals of the show. Now, yeah, they are classic Vince Gilligan, calm framing, slow zooms, you know. You've got that kind of uneasy stillness before everything explodes into absolute carnage. Now, every happy scene is mirrored with destruction in the background. Fires, crashes, you know, people laughing kind of through catastrophe. It's the same trick that he kind of used in Breaking Bad. You know, ordinary moments hiding that almost apocalyptic truth. And then, yes, we get the closing shot as the trailer comes to an end, where Carol stands firm, looking straight to someone off screen and says, "Get me a tank." And this is that conversation she's having with a DHL driver. Now, it's very bold, you know, she's kind of pushing the boundaries with this person of what she can actually get. Now, you know, whether that was a metaphorical or literal request, I feel like in this moment that she decides enough is enough. And honestly, I can't wait to see what that means. Because if the show's about someone pushing back against the world that's lost free will, then again, Vince Gilligan has hit the mark here. And of course, we do hope that Carol does get that tank. I really want to see that in the show. But overall, Pluribus looks absolutely incredible. Really unsettling, stylish, and full of mystery. So full of mystery that I don't even know what this show is still about. We don't know what's going on, but of course, that is the fun part. The theory game for this show is going to be absolutely insane. And of course, we will be with you every step of the way. Is it aliens? Is it AI? Is it a psychological experiment gone wrong? Or maybe Carol isn't immune at all. Maybe she's the one that's spreading it. So either way, this is shaping up to be one of Apple TV's most intriguing sci-fi projects yet. So what do you think? Is the happiness virus part of a hive mind? Is Carol's humanity the last hope, or is it its final trigger? So of course, as always, let me know your thoughts and theories down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. And yes, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with something new.